If you're looking to build wealth, choices, and financial freedom through property, now obviously there's so many different strategies in the market. You can develop, renovate, flip, knock down and rebuild, go for greenfield sites, go for existing homes, go for houses and granny flats. Now, all of that's nice, but I've found for 99% of the people that I've met, like myself, they're looking for a simple strategy to go from where they are today to a life filled with choices down the line. Now, this super simple strategy today is basically a 2-property strategy. We go out and buy one $600,000 property when we can afford to, and then when we can afford to again, we go out and buy a second $600K property. Now, basically, once you own your 2 $600K properties outright, you're sitting on $1.2 million worth of property. Now, if we do nothing at all except hold that property for the next 30 years and it grows in value by an average of 4.8% compounded over that period of time, your 600K property in 30 years is going to be worth 2.4 mil. So is the second one, giving you a total value of your portfolio in 30 years of $4.8 million. Now, when it comes to the types of properties or what best practice looks for these 2 properties that you go out there and buy, I wanted to look back at history. Now, when we look at the data from CoreLogic in the last 30 years, houses in Australia's capital cities have smashed the performance of everything else. So when we look at houses versus units, houses have done about 120% better than units according to CoreLogic in the last 30 years. On top of that, houses in Australia's metro markets or capital cities have done another 125% better than houses or units in regional markets over the last 30 years according to CoreLogic. So if we look at houses in the capital cities and then go for quality parts of the city and the highest quality suburbs we can possibly find. Now, to me, a quality suburb is one with a low rental vacancy rate, a great average household income, and a strong history of performance. On top of that, we want great access to schools, infrastructure, and transport. Now, when it comes to the actual property level, we want a nice big 400 to 800 square meter piece of land. We want a property in a quiet street with a low maintenance tenant ready property on the front. Now, obviously, even if the property's brand new, in 30 years time, you are gonna have to do a little bit of maintenance and a little bit of renovation work to the property. So if you can target something with good bones now that you can put a tenant in for the next 5 to 15 years without stressing on too much, that will give you the best chance of moving towards wealth and choices down the line. Now, inside the property, I want a nice open living, dining, and kitchen area if I can, and then a nice big backyard. I think post-COVID, people are spending much more time in their houses, and that lifestyle is super important in the lives of Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane at the moment. Now, obviously, for some of you, 2 properties could be an overwhelming idea. And for other people, it's like, well, man, I want to go so much further than that. But this is a super, super simple strategy that can put you in an incredible position by retirement, especially if you can slowly chip away at the debt and give you financial peace, financial freedom, and either a passive income for life once you've paid them off if you want to keep them, or if you decide to sell them in the future, then a big chunk of cash that you can either reinvest or put in the bank and live off over time. Now, for those of you seriously thinking about buying a property in the next 3 to 12 months, I'd love to offer you a one-on-one strategy session. Just jump over to www.pumpedonproperty.com, click that free strategy session button, and we can talk about where you are right now. We can talk about where you'd like to be longer term, and we can share a whole bunch of different ideas with you. And then you can go and take that information and absolutely smash it on your own, or potentially become one of the extremely small number of clients that we take on each month. But either way, I truly wish you all the best on your journey to financial freedom and financial peace in your life.
Woo! That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Getting cool, bro. Yeah.
Oh, sweaty. So sweaty. Oh, that's good. Look at that. So nice, eh?